Hello, welcome to the video. Today I wanted to talk about how having a vast football knowledge, a load of experience of watching, playing, trading football cannot always be as advantageous as you might think. And by that I mean sometimes we can get swayed by knowledge of football and of what certain teams normally play like, of how results normally go in matches like this, of feelings that we've got for certain players who look like they've turned a corner and who have looked quite good when I watched them on TV recently. Historically, how teams have behaved against certain teams, like they always bottle it against the big teams, or this team always falls off towards the end of the season. And some of it is just sort of unconscious bias and things that are deep rooted in us from watching football over the years that we have took on board and now take as gospel, and it can really damage your profitability basically when you come into trading. So what I'll do now is have a look at yesterday's game, for example, with Liverpool Man United, because in Liverpool Man United you could get Liverpool at 2.46 when I put the odds together to win. Now Liverpool at home at 2.46, I don't know how many times that would have been on offer this season and last season. I know they've fell off a little bit since their championship winning days, but still 2.46 at Anfield are massive odds, and especially against a Man United team that aren't challenging for the title. I know they've been good recently, but they're not Man City and they're not Arsenal, and I think a lot of people have got caught up with the sort of surge that Man United have been on and the 2-year sort of decline, if you like, that Liverpool have been on, even though they've been showing signs of improvement recently. And they've let that sway them, which is why the odds have gone in the direction that they have. And that's where we can go in and take advantage by using data, by using facts, by using the toolkit to show us where the value is and to make sure that we're led by accurate data rather than by our gut. So let's have a look at the screen and see what we can make of it and how we can use it to our advantage in the future.
So we're looking at the game yesterday, Liverpool Man United. Now, on the face of it, a lot of people thought that Man United would really give Liverpool a tough game yesterday because of the form they've been in, and quite rightly so. You know, they've been in brilliant form. But when you looked at the prices, and when I looked at the prices, I thought there's something not quite right here about these prices. You could get Liverpool, when I was looking, 2.46 at home. Now this is Liverpool at home, 2.46. If you look at the past sort of 3 or 4 years, you'd never got anywhere close to that. Admittedly, they've not been as good this season and last season as they were in their pomp, if you like, but this is still a very, very good Liverpool team. And they've been showing signs of improvements lately, but that's irrelevant because I'm not talking about what they've been showing, I'm talking about the data. So in the MBM Toolkit, you can see that Liverpool were 2.46 and the toolkit was predicting or estimating that they should be at around 1.52. Now that's a huge amount of value, as you can see, 0.94 points of value, and it was predicting there was value in the overs, not massive value. Well, it was level for 1.5, but value in over 2.5. And if you look at the correct score, now if you've got a model that predicted 7-0, you should either throw it away and start all over again or buy a lottery ticket. I'd suggest the first, because there's no way if your model predicted 7-0 that it's going to be right more than it's wrong. I can't believe there's going to be any consistency there. So ignoring the actual scoreline, what we're looking at is a comprehensive home win, isn't it? And if you look at the score lines in the correct scores on the MBM Toolkit, we had 2-0, 2-1, 1-0 and 3-0, and then 1-1 was the fifth most likely score. Now, that's pretty comprehensive, really, especially 3-0. Now, if you'd have been Dutching, you wouldn't have been able to do this, but if you'd have been just sort of hedging your bets and sort of putting 1 or 2 bets on and then looking to trade out, if you'd have had sort of 2-0 and 3-0, you could have traded out for a healthy profit when it got to sort of 2-0 especially. So anyway, as you can see, this toolkit uses data based on the past season, and we can open it up and sort of, you know, remind ourselves of what it does. It's looking at attacking and defensive strength. It's using the metrics for goal expectancy by using the home and away strengths of both teams to put a percentage figure against each scoreline, and then we're looking at the overs. And that was for half time. It does the same for full time, and then it dutches the scores. Now, we're not using any opinion, we're not using any conjecture, we're not using any gut feeling for this. We're using data, and so when using data, there isn't any scope for people's feelings and people's knowledge of the last 10 years to get in the way. So this is why I'm a strong believer in not only doing a lot of research, but doing the right research and using the right figures and statistics to dictate what you bet and trade on. Because some people will say, well, I did loads of research, I looked at it, and in the last 5 games, Man United did this, in the last 5 away games, and in the last 5 home games, Liverpool did this. And, this player is in great form, he scored this many goals, this player, has conceded this many goals. Yeah, it's all well and good, but that's much softer stuff than looking at hard data for the whole of the last season and comparing home versus away results, putting them together and coming up with a metric such as goal expectancy at home, goal expectancy away, and then playing them off against each other to see what percentages we've got. I mean, we can see we've got a 66% chance of a Liverpool win, but we were at 2.46. I'll go back to that. I mean, that's ridiculous. What you need to do, and what I'm trying to sort of teach people to do, is to select the games from the toolkit that stand out. So what you really want to be doing is looking where you can go against the market and use the figures to back up any sort of ideas that you might have had. It's okay to have those ideas and to have that knowledge. It's advisable to have knowledge. All I'm saying is you shouldn't purely rely on that knowledge. You do need to use some data to back it up. Otherwise, you can get caught out with the emotion of football, which is an emotional game. We all love that about football, but you do need to be careful that you don't get swayed purely by knowledge and emotion, and you need to use your sort of facts and figures to your advantage. And I think that the Liverpool-Man United game is a perfect example of that.
Right then, I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you took something from it, and I hope you can use it in your trading and betting journey going forward. If you would like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. I know it's boring, everyone says it, but it's for good reason. I want my videos to get to the top of the algorithm so that people can benefit from it and my channel can grow. Simple really, isn't it? So if you could, I'd really appreciate it, and take care. I'll see you again soon.